Once upon a time, there was a family of bears living in a home in the woods. The family consisted of three bears: big old Papa Bear, medium-sized Mama Bear, and tiny Baby Bear. On this morning, they decided to have their favorite breakfast food, porridge. Freshly cooked, the porridge was too hot, so the three bears decided to leave the house for a stroll while their porridge cooled down. Goldilocks, a young girl, found herself strolling through these very woods when she stumbled across the humble abode of the three bears. Before entering the house, she walked around it exactly 5 times, until it felt right to enter, of course. She touched the doorknob twice before turning it and stepping curiously into the house. On the kitchen table, she noticed 3 bowls of porridge in consecutive sizes, and the smell made her stomach growl. She washed her hands at the sink twice to get rid of the germs she had picked up on the way there, and then she proceeded to sit down at the largest seat at the table. It felt strangely hard, too hard to be comfortable. She tasted the porridge, and it was so hot it burned her tongue. She moved to the next seat at the table, and it was too soft and squishy to be comfortable. She stood up and sat down 3 times before tasting the porridge in front of her. It was too cold. Moving to the smallest chair at the table, she sat down, and it felt absolutely perfect. She tasted the porridge, and it was warm, but not too warm. She made sure to get every last bit and piece in the bowl, even licking it clean, before calling it finished. Right as she finished, the chair broke and Goldilocks startled. With her tummy full, her eyes began to droop with lethargy. The problem was, whenever her eyes closed, disturbing images that shouldn't be put into words flashed through her mind all at once, preventing her from rest and peace. She wandered through the house until she found 3 beds in order from biggest to smallest. She laid herself onto the biggest bed and attempted to close her eyes. Nasty images flooded her mind, and she felt her heart palpitate faster. The bed was too hard. That was the problem. She moved to the medium-sized bed and found herself falling asleep for a minute when more scenes began playing in her mind. She leapt off the bed because it was too soft and moved on to the smallest one. As she laid down, she felt her body sink into the mattress like it had been perfectly shaped for her body. She was able to shut her eyes after making sure the blankets wrapped around her perfectly, and she fell asleep at last. A while later, the family of 3 bears came strolling back into their home and were startled to see the mess that Goldilocks had created. They were infuriated to see that she was now fast asleep in Baby Bear's bed. At this moment, Goldilocks awoke and ran out of the house as fast as she could. As she ran away from the house, she touched each tree she passed and counted them in her head to relieve her anxiety. She would never again go into a house uninvited, but sometimes it was just so hard to resist.